Howdy y'all, Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee, and I've made some off-camera progress on our chapel walls here. Now, this chapel, it looks pretty okay. Actually, though, it's going to have some awesome roofs and parapets and pieces of it. We got to go and do the details with the windows and stuff later. This is just the core concept. You can see that the king will sit up here and look down from his little perch. Like, look at this. This is where the king will sit during the services, and he'll just look down on everybody worshiping. It's going to be good. But, you know, I was looking at all the different roofing materials I could get in Minecraft, and I was thinking, oh, it's a shame that there's no purple stairs, because the Curse of Strahd book by Chris Perkins, which builds on Tracy and Laura Hickman's work, has purple roof tiles, and I would love to have purple roof tiles in this. But it turns out that there are purple blocks that make purple stairs in Minecraft. And I don't know what purple is exactly, but according to the wiki, it is purple. So we are going to figure out how to get purple blocks to make purple stairs that are purple for tiles, for roofs. Anyway, as I said last video, this third floor up here is above the throne room, which once again, like the throne room level is down here. This third floor is basically like there's a mansion built on top of the castle and kind of around the towers. So this area, I was hoping to get a little bit laid out today too, in between my purpur search, or purposition, I don't know. I'm certainly going to do something with purpur. But anyway, while I do this, I wanted to kind of lay out the floor plan roughly of the mansion, just to give you guys a sense of how this will look. Although I don't have the bone blocks with me, or the roof tiles, so maybe I don't want to get too aggressive about showcasing this, but it's going to look pretty cool, and we are going to want... Oh, you know what I'm realizing is that this tile, there's actually like a bridge across there at this level. Oh, that's actually really neat architecturally. That'll give the building a lot more three-dimensionality up here. Oh, that's awesome. But anyway, so like the mansion will have dark oak paneling on all of the interior walls, and so, because it's Minecraft, we're going to give it dark oak paneling on the exterior walls, too. I think that's just going to look better. And, like, I gotta say, if I had to live in a mansion on top of a castle, this is a pretty good castle to have your mansion on top of. We're going to have some pretty big rooms up here. Like the closet, just, okay, I mean, this guy's a vampire, so he lives a long time. He probably accumulates a lot of clothes. But his closet is going to go from, like, let's say here, all the way back around to, oh man, I don't even have enough floor tiles, but like, this is his walk-in closet. It's like 20 meters long. No, it's 50 feet long closet. It's like 9 feet deep. It's a huge closet. Man, being a vampire has its perks. So, anyway, huge closet for the vampire. We're gonna put in like his formal dining chamber over here, bathroom here, which is, you know, gonna have a wonderful bathtub full of blood. You know, not because he necessarily bathes in blood, but probably because the mansion's haunted or something. We'll have a hallway full of cool statues. But before we can really get too far into this, we need to go get bone blocks and purpur, so we can make sure that this actually gives us the visuals that we're looking for. So let's go ahead and get on that now. Time skip. Let's see, I'm not exactly what you'd call a heavy hitter, but I took some times to hit the books heavily, and I can tell you that purpur blocks form purpur stairs. And I found out that the purpur blocks come from chorus fruit that you have to smelt after growing from a chorus tree, which you have to grow from a chorus flower on endstone. So this is going to be one of those, like, if you give a mouse a meatball type things. I think we're going to go ahead and fly to spawn. If I can find a single chorus flower at spawn, as well as a... Well, actually, I already have endstone blocks. Then I can do this without going on an insane end venture. Because, you know, end ventures can end poorly. I have a lot of really good gear now, and I do not want to lose it. I really hope I'm generally along the correct vector for spawn. There we are. Probably more this way. And whoop, there it is. We are just going to swing by here. I know there was like a purpur building that Isuma or somebody had set up at some point. And that's just a gun stack of... That's a gunpowder thing that's empty. We've got the Yesh building over there. I don't think I've ever seen any purpur in that. I think this is where Isuma had his purpur fruit building. Dang it. What's this over here? Tango's Lack of Rack Donation Shack. Well, this is just where people can put netherrack. Unlikely we... Oh, no. Okay, we're gonna get out of here before anything blows up on us, like that other creeper. So this is already going poorly. Whoa, there's those little guys already. I was gonna say, I've panoplized myself to go to the end. But let's go ahead and check out this gear. Boom! That is end-ready gear. If I fall off a cliff, it will not be the end of me. No siree. You will see. Now, I've heard some people say you should never go to the end unless you have, like, a ender chest with which to, what do you call it? Oh, there's a whole thing where, like, you have an ender chest and then you use it to put stuff in it because you're going to die. But you know what? That's not how I roll. That is not how I roll. In fact, whoops, I'm going to move this off of there because that's already a problem. I'm just not the sort of person who takes those sorts of risks. I take different sorts of risks. Like, what is the risk of not having an ender chest? Let's find out. Okay. So, let's just go up here. Now, if I remember this correctly, there's some sort of trick where you throw an enderpearl into that thing, and it, like, does something where you come out on the other side. Okay, so we did come out on the other side, and there are some chorus fruit trees. So I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and enderpearl down to the chorus fruit trees, and then we'll just kind of harvest them. Now, I don't remember if the fruit grow on the trees somehow, or what the fruit look. Are the fruit the rectangular nubs? It might be a whole thing. Also, as I'm looking at this here, I'm thinking maybe I should have some sort of anti-enderman shelter in case I accidentally look at one, but maybe I won't look at them. Oh, okay, so that's how you harvest those. That seems really easy. Now, how do I make it into the plantable flower? Do I just plant it like this? No. Okay, so I looked on the wiki, and it turns out that in order to actually get the seeds that you need, like, unlike most plants that produce fruit, the fruit of this does not contain the seeds. You actually need that block right there. So I think if I hit that with a pickaxe, that should actually be usable now. And the same goes for if I come over here and hit... Whoops. Okay, well that was not a good way to do that. I think I broke the plant. But on the plus side, I learned something valuable today about plant breaking, which was how to do it quickly and efficiently. And unintentionally. Oh hey, Enderman whose feet are like really close to my eye line. Well, as far as Enderman-related expeditions go, we've got 6 chorus flowers, which seems like it's probably enough to start a farm. I don't know if that's true, but it feels true enough that I'm not willing to risk dying over it. So, what we're going to do next is we're going to take our end stone here, pillar straight up, and throw an enderpearl back through that portal thing, which should, hopefully, take us out the other side. And I've already looked at 3 endermen. So now we have a different problem. Let's sort that problem out. Okay. So, let's eat all the food we need to eat. Let's stay directly next to the water here. And let's figure out a plan. Now, one good plan might be to wait for them to despawn, but I don't think that's how that works. I don't think they ever despawn. So, let's just think about other options. That guy's pretty mad at me. He keeps reappearing here, hitting the water, and then teleporting away. I could try and throw an enderpearl a good distance toward that exit. Like... Yep, they're trying to get me. Okay, I can try and throw... Oh, man, he is very adamant about trying to get me with his killing me parts. Well, one possibility is I might be able to teleport through here again and then have him despawn. So why don't we see if that's a good idea? Okay, so now I'm underneath here. I'm on the wrong side now. But I'll come back around. Okay. So we're going to go back through. I don't hear any angry Enderman noises. So let's quickly not look at any Endermen and teleport as far away as we can. And then we're going to make a mad dash for the exit. Okay, we did it. Problem solving. Well, I've made it back to the castle safely, and I think the biggest open space we have is right out here. I don't know how much room these chorus fruits actually need, but it seems like a good idea to just kind of plant these at random intervals and see what grows. Then we can add more as we gather from the initial harvest. So we're going to take these chorus flowers. Well, that definitely planted. And get these underway. Now I can also take the chorus fruit that I actually harvested already. Oh, looks like I have one more chorus flower to plant. Okay, one end stone. Where should I put it? Let's just say here. There we go. So we'll let those have some time to grow. But I did manage to gather a few chorus fruits in the process of heading down there. So, whoops, I guess 16 actually. I think that we can cook these. Oh, we should probably go to our furnace room rather than our storage room. So, just swing in through here. Enderpearls make the best doors out of everything. So, toss these 16 chorus fruit in here. That'll make popped chorus fruit, which we can use to generate purple blocks and purple stairs. Okay, so I've got the purple block stairs now. And keep in mind, these won't ever go exactly directly on the stone like this. What'll actually happen is that they'll go above the bone blocks on the roof of the mansion here. So this is a lot brighter, which at least during the day looks cool, but at night I think it should look pretty spooky and a little bit darker. So that'll be really good. Plus, it looks like our chorus fruit plants over here are already growing. Apparently it takes them a while to actually fully develop, but I mean that's just really cool seeing this is like a plant that actually grows bit by bit in Minecraft, which is way different from like every other Minecraft plant. So, we'll see what happens there. Anyway, time skip. It's amazing to me how much progress we've made in the last week on this castle. This has been such a great project. Thank you guys for sticking with me on it. I'm going to actually start enderpearling back to spawn now without going into that lava there, because I realized I left my elytra and stuff back in my ender chest. Now, some people might say, Joe, you should have an ender chest at your base, in addition to the one that you should carry on your end expeditions. This is actually probably the case. I gotta get me some obsidian and some Eye of Ender at some point. But, you know, as we run back to spawn, I was thinking a little bit about flying the other day, probably because I built that elytra. And I realized, like, with Southwest Airlines, there was this series of tweets a few months ago where somebody asked if they were allowed to save a seat for a friend. And the response was, you know, we don't allow you to save a seat, but we don't disallow you from saving a seat. Like, if you want to tell someone you saved a seat, somebody else can choose to believe you and not sit there, but it's not necessarily, like, binding. You can't force someone to not sit there because you saved the seat. So I was thinking this morning, like, well, what if I put a reserved sign down on the seat next to mine? Because when I go to conventions where I get to sit in reserved areas, like at Minecon or whatever, I like to save the reserved seat sign, because it just seems neat to me, like, oh, hey, I got to do something other people didn't hear. And, you know, they're just, like, paper. It's not like I'm walking out of there with, like, something big. In fact, it was paper that was going to get sat on. So, you know, I feel like taking one of those as a souvenir isn't that bad. But I was thinking, like, what if the next time I fly, I put that on the seat next to me on the airplane? Is that explicitly disallowed or allowed? And, you know, the logical conclusion to this, for me, as somebody who has a little bit of graphic design training, is I started thinking, like, would they be more or less mad at me if I was able to, like, perfectly follow the airline's brand guidelines and stuff? So instead of just having, like, the word reserved in the Minecraft font because I was at Minecon, what if I made a perfect Southwest or Delta Airlines sign with their logo that said reserved on it, that completely looked like it had been printed by the company? Like, you know, I went to a real print shop and got it possibly embossed. I don't know. And I think that they would probably be even more unhappy with this. I mean, this would only work on open seating flights, which is why Southwest was the example that came to mind. But it is... I do think that if you put a sign down like that said that, it would probably work. I think a lot of people would just kind of walk past the seat without asking. But I think that the flight attendants might not like it. I think that they'd be the ones that you would have to justify yourself to. And I don't want to get thrown off an airplane or anything, because that's bad. Airplane tickets cost money. Not being able to make a flight costs time. You know, I only get on a plane when I'm going somewhere I want to go, like PAX. So the last thing I want to do is jeopardize my PAX trip because I thought I'd make a funny sign. But, you know, I was thinking about this out loud on Twitter, or at least in writing on Twitter. And, my brother Sean happened to see this, and he mentioned that if I really wanted to up the ante, what I should do is put a wet paint sign on the seat next to me, which arguably is a lot more ridiculous than a reserved sign, because it's an airplane seat, and in theory, it should not have paint anywhere near it, like, at all. But at the same time, people are even less likely to want to mess with it. I don't know. It just, it struck me as a humorous idea. So, that is your insight into the mind of myself and my brother as we try to determine ways to put signs on airplane seats. Where was I? Oh yeah, putting more bricks down. Feels like there's always something to do on Hermitcraft. So, we're gonna get it done. I have gotten a ton of great suggestions for what I should call my advice/poetry/role-playing game shop. Let me actually... Let's find a good place to stand, and I want to pull up some of those. Or actually, I'll probably pull up some of those while I am doing this. So, I think one of my favorite ones was Let's Play SMR suggested Rhyme and Reason, which doesn't have the syllables of Dungeons and Dragons or Pitfalls and Penguins, but it does work well. Rhymes and Reasons might be better, but it's along the right lines. Another guy, Joel G, came up with Endeavors and Enlightenment, or Epiphanies and Endeavors. And these are also kind of on the right track. I think he gets the... He's demonstrating a grasp of the concept that some of the other folks weren't. But he also had in there Campaigns and Counsel, Guilds and Guidance, and Taverns and Teachings. These are all pretty solid, so thank you to Joel G for that. I think one of the ones that... let me go through the rest of the list. Globes and Games with another one by Jack the Wizard. Fevik Sebering suggested Fiction and Facts, and that's a little bit too dry. I think we want something a little bit more flavorful, something spicier. So, you know, if you guys are going to keep sending suggestions, which you're welcome to, because I haven't come to a specific decision yet, but although I might have by the time you get this, see this video. Like, let's see, there were a few other ones. Somebody suggested, Tristan7777, in fact, suggested I should name the shop Reality Check. And this is a good suggestion, because we are talking about realities and grasping them. And there's a concept in Dungeons & Dragons called a check, where you try to determine if you were successful at something or not. So, if you had to see if you were strong enough to open a tomb or something, it might be considered a strength check. However, reality check works because it's like, okay, you're checking reality, but I almost think that a actual name of a check from the game would be better, like wisdom check or perception check. And I think perception check is the front runner right now. I think I really want to name the shop Perception Check. But if you guys have any other ideas, like Cloud Knight recommends Advice and Adventures, and Hilgert Bose recommends Tri-State Realty and Unreal Pets. Something with real estate. There's something there. I feel like you guys have a ton of good ideas. Once again, I really think that building on Reality Check with Perception Check might be the strongest idea we've got right now. But feel free to prove me wrong. Throw something out there. I want to read it. So I will be checking the comments of this video for more of those. And the comments of the last video, too. Because, you know, you guys might still be posting good ones. So let's go ahead and grab some more of these dark oak planks. You know, in order to really get the purpur on the roof working here in a way that works, we need to get the bone blocks in to get the height and everything right, and to get the real contrast. And these are going to be growing for a while. So maybe we should go ahead and grab the bone blocks now. I think that what we want to do is hit the Pentas Boner for bone blocks. I think that's going to be our soundest way to do that. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and store all this building materials for the time being. And we'll come back here, hopefully, with a pile full of bone blocks. Time skip. Whoa! What am I flying over? I sat down to write down a suggestion off of, wow. This place is crazy. I'm guessing this is probably Tango's base. I looked down because I wanted to write down that a salt tank recommended sanity check, which would be a really funny name. But then I saw that crazy thing there and just freaked out. That's awesome. Man, everyone on this server is so talented. Like, I'm so happy to be able to play with such cool people. Anyway, we are back here at spawn, and I think that the Pentas Spawner itself was, like, actually located underground near Scar's base, which should be, like, right over the hill here. I'm going to be out of Elytra soon, so I really hope Scar's base is close by. Did we make it? Is this the Pentas Spawner? What is this? Whoa, that was not a good idea. Also, this seems like a dangerous place to stand. Is that the Pentas Spawner? I feel like people might know, because the Pentas Spawner is underground. Man, okay, that looks like the highway that should connect to Scar's base. Million cats, that tells me he says Scar's base. Roads, yeah, this might be Scar City here. Okay, so in theory, the entrance to the Pentas Spawner is somewhere under all this. Little cat traffic cops. It's adorable. Oh, man. Oh, man, look at this attention to detail here. This drain is brilliant. Man, Scar does so many things so well. You know, I came over here to search for bone blocks, but what I really found was a bone of inspiration. And like a dog, oh, dang it, Cubfan was here for a second. He could have helped me. Maybe he'll be back. But anyway, this is so cool, seeing all these neat farms that Scar has built up like skyscrapers. I could find the actual downstairs access, though. That would be big. I'm guessing it's probably somewhere near the middle of the base. Probably near one of the beacons, but I haven't been over here since, like, before he built all this stuff. So I'm completely lost. You know, we might just have to call this an episode, because as great as this is, like, this is overwhelming. I don't think I'm going to find the Pentas Spawner. We're not going to get the bone blocks today. But you know what? We did get our chorus fruit farm started. And that's going to be huge. Maybe he's got it set up over by the animal farm, though. Because, like, if you think about it, maybe the stuff he set up earliest is this... Boom. Joe Hill's being right about things. I was thinking, like, maybe the animal farm is near where the entrance would be. Well, this goes to an underground place, but it doesn't go to where I want. Dang it. And now it's getting dark. Well, Pentas Spawner, we'll find you another day. We got enough done for today. So let's go ahead and find someplace safe to log out so we don't accidentally blow up Scar's base. That would be a kindness to everyone involved. Good night, Moon. Good night, Scar's base. Good night, towers above Scar's base, behind the moon, or in front of it. I guess towers behind the moon would be more impressive. But anyway, until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring.